Angie, it's Hal Sparks.
Hi, how are you?
I'm spectacular, but I'll get better. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
Right on, right on.
So I got to say, I was psyched when I found out that you and Dave Hill are coming to town this week.
It's true.
Yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
crept up on me, which is unfortunate. I wish I had a little more time to get the word out, but
Well, that's part of uh, the difficulty of booking my life these days. Um, yeah, it's brutal. Like my manager calls my schedule Jenga. You pull one thing out, she's afraid the whole thing's going to collapse.
Yeah, you're quite the busy guy. You've got your hands in just about everything in entertainment, whether it's
Yeah, well, you kind of have to these days, and that's actually I consider that a plus, considering it, everything's available to you. Where it just was not a few years ago. Literally, as I'm talking to you, I'm printing like promotional stuff for my band using a 3D printer.
nice.
Doing like amp tab nameplates for our live show, and just like specialized stuff for that. And that was just impossible 6 months ago, much less 5 years ago or something. So now it's like you can have a band and be a stand-up and do your own merch and act in a Disney show while having just been on the gayest show ever, and nobody seems to blink an eye. And it's kind of a beautiful thing.
Definitely, definitely. Now, do people sometimes not necessarily know that you are a stand-up comedian as well?
No, I think that's the thing people primarily know me for. I think thanks to the I Love the 80s and thanks to the success of Charmageddon, I think the word is out. That's the good part. I think it's harder, though, to categorize what I do as a stand-up,
Right.
because, it is headier, more esoteric stuff.
Mhm.
Not that I don't pepper it with dick jokes. I mean, I think that's my legal responsibility, but the reality is that if you really want to be a kind of game-changing comic, you have to kind of defy description. It's just one of those, like, you got to see it kind of thing. And I'm a huge fan of that kind of comedy. But the industry, insofar as packaging things, likes it really simple. You're the dude with the puppet.
Right,
You're,
right.
you're the guy who talks really slow. You're the guy who talks really fast. You're the guy who does the sound effects. It's easier from a marketing standpoint to convey, a mechanical style than it is an intrinsic style, and that'll always be the case. So I don't mind at all.
Excellent, excellent. Now, tell me a little bit more about your Disney show.
It's called Lab Rat. It's on Mondays at 9 o'clock on Disney XD, and it's been the number one show since we launched, and we still are, which is super amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
And we're definitely coming back next year, which is also a lot of fun.
Congratulations.
It's having a 2-year-old and knowing that I will have a body of work that he will be able to watch by the time he's of viewing age for that is really nice, considering the amount of adult work that I've done.
Definitely, yeah, that's got to be pretty special.
Mhm. Yeah, it's spectacular. Actually, it's an awesome thing. And it's also nice when you have entire families freaking out when they see you now, which is a thing. I thought I kind of knew what fame was because I've had situations where I've been on television 7 days a week. I've been in situations where I've been in a hot topic, politically loaded show like Frissore. Talk Soup and I Love the 80s put me kind of everywhere at once.
Mhm.
But you don't know what fame is until you walk around with some Disney kids next to you. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like they have a grasp of of the fame situation like you would not believe, and it's incredibly powerful. The watching it in process. I've been on red carpets and like, hey, there's Brad Pitt, like 4 people ahead of me, and then like 2 people behind me, there's some random kid on some random Disney show, and it sounds like someone just set fire to the bandstand. Everyone's just screaming. But it's it's a good place to be. It's nice. It's nice to be able to do that and do the stand up that I do because I got to give Disney credit. They're very respectful of the fact that I have 2 different art forms that I do, and they don't put limits on what I do, which is terrific. Mainly because I think they trust me. Most of my stuff isn't meter, honestly. You know, to just call bullshit when you see it, even when everybody else won't.
Right.
And I, you know, and sometimes you can step on some toes when you do that. And the fact that I can still be on a Disney show, I think, points to where we're coming as a society a little bit.
Absolutely. And you've also got a movie coming out, right?
Yeah, The A-List. I shot that last year. It was an independent film, low budget, based on a series of novels, and it's a great movie. But you know, I mainly took it from a mercenary point of view because now I can technically and legally say I am an A-list actor. So, yeah.
Congratulations.
That's on my part or what? I mean, seriously. How can you sidestep 10 years of struggle in one audition? You're welcome. Yeah.
You've aced the formula.
Mm-hmm.
That's
now I just need to do, you know, a movie where I get called the $7 million paycheck, and I'll be the A-list actor with the $7 million paycheck, and then everyone will start hiring me because they won't know any better.
Exactly.
Word is more powerful than reality.
Definitely, yeah, especially in this day and age. So, tell me what's new with your band? What's on the radar for you guys?
Well, we're going into the studio in August to do our new record with a guy named Toby Wright, who did the Alice in Chains self-titled record. He mixed Kiss Crazy Nights and Justice for All. And I think he did Jar of Flies as well. But you know, he's like a crackpot, just like us. You know, big like metal and rock fan, and I think it's a nice fit. It really is. Awesome. Musically for us. So that's what we're doing the month of August. So right now we're just kind of prepping and digging up for that. We're actually auditioning new drummers. Our drummer had to take a powder. So we're now, you know, in that fun process of finding a new best friend.
Always a little stressful.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't have a in a band. You don't really have a choice. You got to pick somebody who's awesome.
Yeah.
Screws.
Definitely.
You know, because you're really in it with this. You know, there is a level of sharing that goes on in the making and portraying of music that is unlike anything else. That's why it drives people bonkers. You know, that's why bands end up just hating each other and stuff. It's one thing to get cast in a television show and be part of a cast, and then the cast hates each other. But ultimately, they can split up as soon as the show's done, and they're never really, you know, even with Star Trek, it's not the entire world to you. But when you're in an original incarnation of a band, get used to it.
Right.
You know, you're going to be there for a while. Yeah.
Well, good luck in your search. I hope you guys find the perfect match for you.
Oh, yes. I doubt we will, but we'll find, you know, the next perfect match. I don't know that we'll be the perfect match for them either. You know what I mean? That's the nature of music. Music is imperfection with a backbeat, you know?
Yeah.
So, it really is. That's why, you know, no auto-tune unless you're making fun of auto-tune in your show.
Right. Definitely.
You know, okay, let me see what you do live. And if you can't do the album live, just be an album band. I have no problem with that. Shoot videos and pretend like you can do it. Yeah. I'll just watch you on television. That's totally cool. You can be an album and TV band. I don't think there's any shame in that. Just don't show up at a club and try to impress me. It's like people who do TV but sort of do stand-up. So they have 15 minutes of stand-up that they're known for. And then they go out, you know, because they're on a comedy series or something like that. And people go, well, shit, we can book you out at the club or whatever. And they try to stretch that 15 minutes into an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And they finish that 15 minutes about 7 minutes in. and then it's like watching the Hindenburg in bullet cam speed. Yeah. Yeah, I started doing stand-up, so that's my fallback skill. You know when they tell you if you want to be an actor, you should always have something to fall back on? Mine is 2 other iffy art forms. How do you like that?
You're quite a risk taker, but it's paying off.
Well, but I'm kind of not, because, you know, it's risky to think you have a factory job and count on it. You know what I mean? That's really a scarier space to be in.
That's true.
You know? Because I know I'm fucked. You know? I know that as soon as this weekend is over, stand-up-wise, I got to go to the next one or I'm in trouble, you know?
Right.
that's always been my life. It's been that way since I was 15 years old, and it's that way for a lot of artists. And I think, the thing is, I've never suffered under the illusion of security.
Mm-hmm.
I've never believed that I was secure in what I was doing, and nor should I. So it always keeps me hustling.
Right. And I have to say, you're probably one of the hardest working guys around.
Absolutely. Now my goal is to be one of the smartest working guys around. I think I've got it mentally. Now I just have to get it, in affectation and specificity. I actually have to mechanically make that happen. But it's doable. It's totally doable. I just love the art of all of it. None of them are the same. All of them are different. You can't compare music and stand-up and acting. They're completely different careers. And so to be able to, in those moments of frustration or boredom or whatever that comes with anything you want to do, you end up with some options,
Yeah, definitely. It's a great way of looking at things.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me tonight.
Absolutely.
I'm so psyched for Thursday. I will be there with bells on. Not literally, of course.
I'm 6. Right.
Well, excellent.
So at least that way I can spot you.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll be the shiny, loud one.
Excellent. Well, yes, we'll come up and say hi, absolutely.
Definitely.
There's a reason why I do a meet and greet afterwards at every single show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, you have a great night, and I will see you Thursday.
I